Hello and welcome back to Pyro 5610. I wanted to share this with you. I told you I'd give you a little rundown. So the other day after I got done shooting, I came home because I shoot at my parents' house. I don't know if I've ever told you that. I shoot at my parents' house, and I came home and there was 2 pounds of gelatin waiting for me at the doorstep. So I'm gonna make some gelatin. I have an idea for tonight's or for next episode, which I'll talk to you about on this little vlog, I guess you could call this. Okay, so I have water here. I have this giant 3-gallon stock pot that I bought a while ago, and I filled it with a whole gallon of just regular tap water. So the recipe calls for 8 ounces of water for every ounce of fluid. So I need 8 ounces. So I used double the batch, so I'm going to use 16 ounces. Which this is, I'm not sure how they measure these out, but this is, each one of these contains like 5 cups or something like that. So that's almost a cup. Let me rip this other one off here. Like I said, these are brand new. I haven't even touched them yet. And we're going to go for 16 ounces, which is half a quart. Almost there. Okay. Now the video that I read said to put this in, use a fork to stir it in. The other one I read, if you look up on the wiki how or whatever it was, Instructables, I guess, they say to use your hand and do it that way, mix it up. But the Instructables only says to let it chill. It doesn't say how long. So the video told me 2 hours. Basically what you want to do is you just kind of you want your water in first. I do know that. You're interested, aren't you? And you just want to kind of dump it in slowly and slowly mix it up. And like I said, you want the water to go in first. You know what, I might end up using my hands because there are a lot of clumps. So I'll just throw all this in. Thor, you're going to get the sneezes because that's like, oh, that is strong. Okay. Another thing is, I don't know how I'm going to double boil this because it says to double boil it, but I have a turkey fryer, so I'm thinking that's probably how we're going to do it. But that's not going to be for a little bit because I'm going to go downstairs and work out while this is chilling, and then I'm also going to start making the mold and boil the bone down as well. So once I start making the mold, I might start boiling down as well to see if I can maybe get that to work. And that way I got 2 things going at once and I'm not sitting here all night. You're really interested in this, aren't you, Buck? This is science. We're doing this for the YouTube channel. You want to say hi to the YouTube people? Huh? Say hi. Looky up there. Looky up there. Looky up there. What's up here? Oh, Clara knows. Hey, Clara, look. Yeah, they're both interested in what's going on here. So I have most of the chunks broken up. And basically what they recommend is that you have a consistency somewhat near applesauce. There's still a little bit of Jell-O in there, so I'm going to scoop this up and see if I can stop licking everything. And just try and break that up. Just a little bit left there. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to dump this in here. No! Get your head out of it. I knew as soon as I turned around that's what he was going to do. So, this is the part where the watch comes off. I'm going to pick you guys up. Hi, babies. See, So the last time I did this, I used 2 small pots, but I didn't think this batch, because I made a double batch, that it would work the way I wanted it to. So the last time I did use this little strainer, and I'm going to put it down in this turkey fryer thing here, fill it up with water, because you don't want to put this directly on a burner. And if it works right, actually, oh my gosh, that fits perfectly. Look at that, the handles sit right there, so I don't even need that thing in the bottom. So I don't even need that. That's a plus. Stay out of there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this up, because like I said, you don't want this touching flame or heat source, because it can scorch. If you look in here, it looks solid, but if you just take you can see it's kind of sliding there. It's not solid, but that's about the consistency you want it. So I'm just going to go fill this up with water, and I'll be back with you in the garage. So I asked for my snow, and I got it. It's been snowing for the past 2 days straight, but more on that later. Definitely going to get a cold weather episode in. I'm going to start this bad boy up and see if I can't get that up to temp. Once it starts boiling, I can't get the Jello up past 160. So I don't have a thermometer out here, but you can kind of tell when it starts to get looking good, and then I'll be back once it gets up to temperature. One other thing I didn't mention when making this, your mold, whether it be plastic, whatever, needs to be sprayed with Pam. So I have some cooking spray here. I'm actually going to take the bones out and just spray that nice and liberally, because that'll make it slide out easier. But I don't want the bones to be greasy, or they'll slide right out of the mold, which I don't think will happen, but it's possible. These actually ended up fitting in rather snugly. And of course, now that I greased it, they're not going to. So I'm going to actually have to do the pencil thing that I was talking about earlier and hang them. And then I also got the bright idea, just to make extraction a little bit easier, I got some weed whacker wire here that I'm just going to string the whole length, and that way I have like a handle to pull on. Moment of truth. I have the concoction here. Oh, it smells rank. I'm just going to pour it into this slot here. I also made another barrel because I wasn't sure if this was going to be fitting. It's leaking out the bottom. Oh no. See if it's holding anything in. Good news is it's so cold outside. I may not have to put this in a fridge. Okay. So I believe, oh God, it's like messy in here, that the leak may be fixed. I showed you how to make a leg mold on the last video, and unfortunately, it did not work out. It had too many leaks. It just didn't fit right. there was just something not right with it. So I didn't fail. I just found ways not to make a leg mold. So I revamped my process. I made a quadruple batch of ballistics gel, and for this episode I'm going to be showing you what I did. So like I said, I did mostly everything the same way, except when I pulled out the ballistics leg, it was busted. It was frozen through. It was still kind of runny, which I was surprised by. So I just pulled all the ballistics gel off the bone and decided to make the full leg mold again. And unfortunately, during the process, some of the bones are kind of brittle because they had been outside, and I lost a little bit of the bone. But I remade that. I'll be showing you today at the range how that turned out. But it only took about half a batch, or half of the quadruple batch, to make that. So I was like, what can I pour this into that'll make a ballistic block and work well? So I came up with this idea. This is a planter that we had. I plant stuff in during the summer, but I don't need it obviously right now because it's not summer, it's winter. It filled it up pretty nicely. I have not looked at this. So this has just been left in my fridge. You can see there are some spots on here, and it is a little slimy, but that's because I didn't have Pam to spray my mold with, so I used vegetable oil, and that's the end result of that. So we're gonna see how this turned out. Okay. Booyah! Beautiful. A couple pieces came off. This is just gelatin. Thor, get out of here. It's not for you. It looked a lot more clear, but you live and learn. It did come out yellowish, but that's a nice solid piece of ballistics gel, and I have a feeling that's going to turn out really well. That's what the top looks like, kind of nasty, but the bottom looks really nice, and you can see my hand the whole way through it. So we should be able to get some good, decent shots out of this and see what it'll do. As you can see, it's still kind of wet, still kind of wobbly, but for the most part, it turned out pretty well. So I'll just set it back in that container because that's the cleanest way to keep it. And yeah, that's how you make ballistics gel, and hopefully that turns out pretty well for our shots. And I'll be testing the gun and the knife, both of those, on that and the leg, which the leg I'm going to reveal tomorrow at the range, because like I said, it's not completely set, I don't think, and I don't know how it's going to turn out. I have no idea. I haven't looked at it since I stuck it in the garage after setting it. So hopefully it turned out okay. Looks like it froze up pretty well, but we'll find out. We'll find out at the range. Here for the first time on Pyro 5610, I have the leg with me, and off camera I did have a little problems getting it out, but the leg sitteth right here. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. The bottom broke off here, but that is bone. The bottom broke off in the process of me making the new one. So this is the leg, my leg mold. That is a deer bone, and it did sit out. The carcass is still sitting out there. It did sit out. I mean, it has withered, so I don't think it's going to be as structurally intact. And for some reason, well, it started to bury into this thing right here, so it's not as structurally sound as I'd care for, but it's a leg, and it's got this like ooey nastiness that's been falling off of it. But it worked out pretty well. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have anything to hang it on, but if it'll come, ooh, don't fall off. Ooh, oh God, that broke. Oh, yeah. My plan is to kind of prop it up out here.
Awesome. So from that video to this one, literally 5 seconds, the butt broke off of the leg. But I still have a good chunk of it here. You can see the sharp point of the leg didn't mold as well. So it's sitting over there. I should be able to get a shot off on it too. I'm gonna back the truck up quite a bit, back to the 70, 80 yard range. I'm gonna see if I can hit that knee right there with the 22. And should have a pretty decent shot at it. There's the truck right there. So we're gonna back it up and I'll be back with you in just a minute. So of course, the day I want to record, it starts to warm up. And everything is starting to melt, including the ground, so it's getting kind of soft out here, but I'm not worried about it. You can see our target down there. I have the Smith & Wesson M&P 15 by 22 right here, the red dot sight. So we're gonna try a couple shots at the leg. It might take me a couple because it's not as accurate as the Sears and Roebuck, but I got 30 rounds. So let's bring you in close here. You don't need to see me shooting, you've seen plenty of me shooting. So I did hit it. I don't know if I hit the, I did. There's 2 little shots right there. I kept getting a tinging noise. I don't know if you guys heard it on the thing, but I could hear it through these mic'd up headphones. And I kept hitting something that would go ting. But it wasn't. So those ones were just a little high, it looks like. But I did hit it, and this is what I found funny. It did go, oh, it shattered that bone. Holy crap. It looks like it did anyway. There's the entrance right there, and I think it hit that bone straight up. Oh, this is so slimy. I don't know why, but it is. So it did come out the other side, but I did find this interesting, that once it did, it stopped right there. So it lost a lot of force with that much mass. So there's kind of the answer for the 22. I have another idea for this leg. Probably just gonna leave it out here and see what happens to it, because the other one's nothing ate, but they're solid as a rock right now. But I hit this one too. It's just an off shot there, so it wasn't really the best. So you can kind of see then what would happen if you were shot in the leg by a 22 at this distance. It would go through, but it wouldn't do a lot of damage because they're a very small caliber round. So that kind of answers the question for this episode. If you'd like to see more of these, make sure you comment down below, leave me a like, tell me what you want to see, then subscribe to see if your idea makes it on our channel. that's all for today. Thanks for watching. I've been Pyro. Have yourself a beautiful day.